Streamy Summer. Get it? Streamy? Get the joke?
I get it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I know.
okay.
Okay.
Hey, folks. How are you doing this fine morning? Or afternoon, or evening, wherever you may be. It's time for another Morning with Max. Odilvik says, by the way, I wanted to say there's 2 bottles of bubbly and a duck coming across her desk today. Michelle to assist her future birthday celebrations. Got it. I'll keep an eye out. Good morning, Simi Shibby. How was my weekend? My weekend was pretty good. Pretty good. You know, got stuff done around the house. Played some games. I am pretty good, Simi Shibby. Pretty good. Welcome, Fubu. Yeah, so here I am, Morning with Max. I am Max Porter. If you don't know me, I am the writer, editor, lore master, board game designer, and a few other things for City State Entertainment, where you can see the logo behind me. And I am kicking off this week of the hot, streamy summer. We don't have a schedule, tentative or otherwise, up yet, but today at 3 p.m. our time, approximately, Michelle may be doing a Paint All the Things stream, and she'll be working on Viking hammers, I believe. So that would be in 4.5 hours? Yes. So, don't miss that. There you go. Maybe I'll read a story this evening or something. We'll see how it goes. In the office today, we have Jules back. She's sitting right there. She's the one who, our intern Jules, our media intern Jules. Hammer time, exactly, Fubu. Intern Jules made the various intros, the hot streamy summer intro, or if you've seen it, the Gauntlet of Death intro, etc. And she'll be making some more things like that for a fun intro to our streaming segments. She was out of the office last week, so we missed her. We missed you.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be back.
Oh, good.
Hello to everybody watching the stream.
A ghostly voice says hello. What are you folks drinking this morning? I am sticking with water. Sticking with water in my Vader cup. I think we know what Fubu is drinking. Odilvik is drinking tea. The mountain over there. Yeah, it's various computer parts. As our other intern, Garrett, who isn't at his desk at the moment, has been putting together various machines for people. Good morning, Continuum Complex. I'm glad you're all joining me this morning. So a little bit about, hopefully you saw some of the streams last week. We did have a wrap-up with MJ on Friday evening, and talked about, wow, we actually went long, and that is up in our, either on the past broadcast on Twitch, or it should have uploaded to YouTube by now. Yeah, answered a lot. He answered a lot of questions. We ended up going a good quarter of an hour extra over, and also putting the update out that same day. So lots of news to check out if you haven't yet. What else did we do on Friday? I think it was just morning with me. Because that's how it goes. Oh, good, Continuum Complex. Thanks. Wow, you really overslept, Odilvik. What's that, Heartfire? Oh, it's last week's stream schedule. And of course there was the another lunchtime throwdown, which if you are interested, you can catch. Just a board game I've been working on. We had sound design with DB, we had programming stream, all those kinds of things. World building with Dion, weapon modeling with John, and painting all the things with Rochelle, which, if you didn't hear it, at about 3 p.m. our time today, Michelle is going to do another Painting All the Streams. Painting All the Streams. That would be a good name for it. Painting All the Things stream, where she will be, she's planning to do Viking hammers. Probably confusing Heartfire because the week before we had 2 lunchtime throwdowns on 2 different lunches. I had some special guests on this one though, on Friday's lunchtime throwdown. Andrew and Dion joined me, so that was pretty fun. And Andrew played it for the very first time. Painting happy little streams and bushes. It sounds more like environment art, which is somebody else does that. Am I still licking my wounds, Hodlvik? I guess so. My humiliating defeat at the hands of Dion and Andrew. I'm glad you do, Continuum Complex. I'm sure you will get the chance when the time is right. I'm glad you thought so, Fubu. It was great. It was good fun. I didn't mind losing. Not at all. I was defeated by a vicious combo of cards in the end there. That's true, Continuum Complex. Odilvik, when last I tested it, was a little over 2 hours. Yeah. I don't know exactly where it's going to end up. But I went out of focus there. There we go. Ability system insights. I believe MJ was talking about possibly doing some streaming involving that, so yeah, look out for that for sure. Not too bad, Odilvik, when you consider that you could spend your life lost in the depths. A lifetime. Not sure about office streams today, Odilvik. Maybe. We might turn the cameras on and play some music. We'll have to see. Not entirely sure if we're going to or not. Okay, Heartfire, that's probably a good idea. And of course, given the time zones, you can check out that last link there to match our 3 p.m. time to wherever you may be. It's very warm, Heartfire. Not in the office, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately. The air conditioning works pretty well, but it is very warm outside in the 90s. Not very pleasant. I don't know what you mean by down the street, Baloo the Bear, but yeah. Yes, we are in Fairfax. Beautiful downtown Fairfax. Yikes, Continuum Complex. Fubu, do you get summer storms there like the Vale? We do. If you read our last newsletter, then you may have seen I spoke about that briefly. I mentioned it when there's a nice big thunderstorm booming across the city. Some people rush out to the balcony here and watch the lightning and listen to the thunder and feel the warm rain. Who's the heavy typer? I'm not sure. Say hi to Tim. I think that was possibly Anna. No, wouldn't have been Andrew. I think it's Corey in this case. Possibly working on something for the newsletter this month. Awesome storms. Nice. We do definitely get inspiration from the awe-inspiring thunderstorms. Heartfire. Everyone came back healthy from the weekend? Unfortunately, no. We got a couple people out with cases of food poisoning, so that sucks. And then, yeah, Dave got got sick on the plane, so he doesn't feel great. That might be Garrett. I think it's Garrett. Intern Garrett right there. He's concentrating very hard. And with his headphones on, he can't hear me talking about him. If you want crazy storms, take a field trip out to Los Alamos. They get big thunderstorms once a day. Wow. That does sound actually kind of like fun. Was it John's Cake? Not sure what you mean by that. Heartfire? Beat John up for his cake? I don't think so. I'm on a diet. Staying away from that. Although it was very difficult. Let's see. I think we did that birthday cake stream on... Was it on Thursday of last week? I believe it was, the 14th. Oh, I see. I don't think it was that Heartfire. I think it was sushi or something. That sounds like fun to us. Yeah, storm watching is awesome. Nice, Heartfire.
What happened? I don't understand.
There you go. No, it wasn't the cake. Though. May have noticed the lights being turned on. That's going to be in preparation for the standups meeting, Monday stand-up meeting, where everybody kind of gets up, stands up over there, and talks about stuff they've accomplished the past week and what they're planning to do this week, and just coordinate between everybody. And of course, there's another screen like this one. You can probably hear the video call starting up in the just around the corner with the folks in Seattle. So that's what will be going on there. I don't know why it sounds like a Western exactly. Heartfire, but like a roundup of bulls. I see where you're going with this CSE bull. But yeah, it's just a quick little thing to us. Rarely painful. Usually painless.
Stand-ups.
There you go. You can hear the call going out for stand-ups. And everybody will begin to. Everyone begins to gather for the stand-up meeting. Hank will stay over here, Heartfire, but I'll chat with you folks while it's going on.
All right, cross.
Yeah.
Okay, there you are.
That's
All right, so impetus this weekend is
Tyler kicking him off over there.
about stability in the build.
And talking about the plans for the plans for this week and things that were wrapped up last week or finished up last week. And that's with Seattle. Yeah, just around the corner. Two. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, just around the corner. There's another screen like that one, and they've got the video chat up, and they are connected with all the folks in Seattle, so George and Brad and everybody, and they can join the stand-up meeting as well. Our Western Roundup. So there you go. Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go over to Michelle.
So I got stream later today.
Well.
Focusing on the two-handed hiking hammers for that. Otherwise, the focus is
How many staff do we have now, Odovic? Honestly, I don't have a count off the top of my head. But
Since John's out, I'm just
we're in the, I think, mid-20s. Or almost 30, yeah.
You sound like he's going to be working from home.
Okay, cool. So I'll keep it contact.
I'm working on the color there for my cobblestone color.
Would you be good for, you haven't really tackled color yet, right?
Oh, you haven't seen the staffs, Donnie? I think there was an image in the update that MJ put out on Friday, so you can definitely check that out. But if you want to track it down, there was a stream that Michelle did that where she sketched the staffs. Hello, Amandal. You're catching us here at the tail end of Morning with Max, and the stand-up meeting is happening just around the corner there.
We can sub out in a minute or two
All they heard was
if you want to come in.
Oh, sure.
So you can
Yeah.
finish your thing.
fidgets and
All right. Looks like MJ is feeling like coming over and joining you guys for a bit to allow me to go and join the stand-up meeting. So you're going to get another Morning with Max transitioning to Mornings with MJ. Hi, Meeks.
Quiet over there, and Max asked me to help him fiddle with that for a little bit, so just kind of bring that back together.
So that will be fun for you as well. And of course, if you missed it, Michelle is planning to stream around 3 p.m. our time, so in about almost 4 hours from now, Michelle will be painting or drawing some Viking hammers. So that will be pretty awesome. But oh no, no questions prepared, Hardfire. Well, you're just gonna have to shoot from the hip.
The reality is, my hopeful reality is that
I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Looking common stuff, we will merge common stuff into main, and then all of our multi-island stuff will break in some way, and I'll put out that fire.
Yeah, Mandal. Can't ever wait for painting all the things.
And then I just recently the dashboard, and then I have some key things to do with
And yeah. Well, if you can't think of your questions right now, you can always, if they come into your head later, I'm sure MJ will be doing more Q&As over the course of the week. So you'll get your chance. That's right, Fubuwu. I feel like we need to do that in some sort of good announcer voice. It's the Max and Mark Morning Show. Some kind of morning zoo xylophone sting. Oh, Hardfire. You got me with that one. That was an honest chuckle.
Part of the conversation this morning was to get some info down on Brad. Possible info to get there. Yeah, that'll be today. Perfect. Yeah. And then either mid-afternoon today or okay.
Get Jewel to do a morning radio show announcement. Yeah, I mean, she can. She was talking about, doing something just like that. I don't know exactly what it will look and sound like, but you did Halloween. Try to touch. What time does Q&A start? Yeah, MJ's writing some emails and stuff. So he said he'll jump into the chair, exchange with me. So whenever he's finished with that, basically. An echo. You shouldn't be getting an echo from me. Maybe you're just hearing other people's voices in the background as the stand-up meeting is going on? Oh, you had 2 tabs open. Alrighty. And here's MJ.
Yeah, my knee went out on me apparently. Hey, good morning everybody.
One of the things we want
Act.
to figure out by the end of the week is figure out if any of the hitching or crashing, is any of that still happening? I don't know if we need to get just the office in, just to run around and see if we're having that issue. But just kind of double check and see where it's at. It's a lot of things have changed recently. Can't get a lot of people on crashing.
So how's everyone this morning? Good weekend, I hope?
Just checking up on that is what we're gonna do. See where you feel you're at on that. Who's next?
Let's say Brad.
I checked in my timing stuff, kind of the rough draft of it Friday afternoon. Logan, maybe Tim or Rob or somebody about a question about some immutable LEA stuff. And,
Nice. Holidays, being on holiday is a good thing.
I'm going to try to polish all that up today, and then probably talk with Mark about what the next task is.
So as you guys are hearing in the background, I'm sure Max talked about, we're in the middle of stand-ups. Almost everyone is on the programming team is back. We've had a few people out for vacation, and now apparently from travel crud, like I certainly was a victim of last week. So while I'm sitting here, just like last time, happy to do some questions. I'll give you an update. By the way, we are certainly still planning on doing the design streaming with Mark and Ben and Tim later this week. And we'll have other changes to the schedule, hopefully today. Was there an update on Friday? Yeah, sure was.
Yes, I started working on
So I'm not sure what happened, Laura.
fire on the plan, and I'm pretty stoked. I'm seeing that it all work well, but I think George has some concerns on like move fire. If we bar
Unless you mean, do you mean an update just to the schedule?
made other changes weren't in the main, so if there's any issues identified on the motor vehicle systems,
Ah,
that would be my.
I see your.
And hopefully Mark's top priority too.
So while I'm sitting, questions?
You're working, so you're not merging stuff for the rest of your career.
Any big milestones we're targeting this week? Yeah, we would like certainly to have, if not a full IT test in the main client, certainly, well, if not an big alpha test by the end of the week in the client, certainly IT. We are in the midst of making 2 big code pushes. One happened last week, and another one is either going to happen today or tomorrow. Once those are both in, then we hopefully will be able to get a big test either this week or at worst, depending on when the code pushes happen, the next week. There's always, when you integrate big code drops, especially in the case of these two, there's always some integration time. As people find that, oops, your code broke this, or now that we put in the new code, it doesn't play nicely with some of the other code. So once that is done, our focus will be to get a lot of people in to the main game, not Cube, into the main game, and again, hopefully this week. Question from Otovic on crafting.
All right. Nope.
Yes, so if you're crafting a sword and you are getting better at it, will you be able to then, as you get better at it, make swords that are better than the ones you made before? And the answer is absolutely yes for that.
It seems they have a Power Rangers, yeah, pretty boss.
Is there any system with clothes-in armor planned so you can wear anything you want without changing your stats? No. Certainly, that unfortunately would go against what we have said about the importance of wearing armor, using weapons that actually make sense, right? So the idea that you could put on, and I know you didn't mean this in the example, but the idea that you could put on a chainmail bikini and it would be just as effective as a suit of plate armor, no, we're not going to have that. A little about crafting. Is that system still on target? Yeah. Honestly, we haven't touched it in terms of breaking it in quite a while because we have been focused on rehab. So yeah, that's still right on target. In terms of it making use of rehabilitation, not immediately because we're not putting abilities on weapons in that way. So rehab really doesn't have much to do with crafting right now.
I could never check out exactly why or how it's happening, but that is great. So there's a process that doesn't actually make. A filter for the ideas. They're all free. I don't remember.
Has CU exposed any APIs? Yeah, slightly. So our entire, as you folks know, or most of you folks know, we're exposing an awful lot through our API. How much will stay in API or in the public API? We don't know. I mean, certainly during beta, we're going to put out as much as we can. We don't want to hide any information, or very little information, certainly, during the test. That would be kind of counterproductive. So we're going to be putting, a lot of stuff into the API for you guys in Mod Squad, or you other guys as well, who will, I know, do some serious data mining. After that, we'll probably pull back on it some, certainly for live. But we'll see. Heartfire, any update to yours? No update. Yes, absolutely still part of the plan. It's an important part of the plan. Will there be any procs on weapons that a crafter can build in? Yes, eventually.
Well, that's what I do. What's going to happen here?
Certainly, it's not something we're focusing on for Beta 1. Morning, Hells.
Sounds like
Yeah, no problem. I did my stand-ups, or in this case, my sit-down, since my knee is acting up, and then kicked Max over to take part in his role in the stand-ups. So, anything else before I get back to work? Will there be unicorns in the game? Yeah, no, I don't think so. Interesting question, me huge. Boy, maybe I could see some use for that. It's something that we haven't really talked about, but it could certainly be something that could be useful in the right situation. Are we actively searching for more staff? Oh my God, absolutely. That hasn't stopped. I have an interview tomorrow, as a matter of fact, another programmer interview. So we are actively continuing to look for people. We're looking for, in this case, senior people. We're not really looking for juniors. Well, we're not looking for juniors right now, but we are definitely looking for seniorish programmers. People can come in and won't need a lot of instruction and a lot of time, because we don't have that. So we're being even more picky than we have been in the past, since we have brought in, obviously, the 4 guys over the last few months. So, but yes, we're going to continue, and we're going to continue looking for people at that level. You don't want to say indefinitely, but it pretty much will probably be indefinitely.
Well, I gathered that. I was wondering if we had more clarity.
Honestly, Hells, we haven't discussed Resurrection in a long time. We're leaving it right where it is, because frankly, there's a lot of other stuff we have to get right first. The key is, just like everything else, and I do appreciate the patience, is that it's not something that I nor Ben or other people feel so strongly about that it is a must-have for the game. Either way, right? Either no resing or some resing or any combination in between. The key is what's going to work best for this game. And if no resing turned out to be the best thing to do, and it made the game better for everybody or almost everybody, we do it. On the other hand, if we decide that a combination of somewhat more traditional resing and maybe some BSC resing, then we could do that as well. That's all that matters. It's really, again, it's something that I think is really important to figure out and to get right, but we are not so hidebound, certainly almost ever, but especially with this one, to think, oh my God, we know the right way and there's only one way to do it. Meeks, you're welcome. Will character names be unique across realm servers or across all servers? Well, certainly we would like character names to be unique on your server. It's kind of important, especially for things like the Realm Herald. Kind of need it. Across all servers, that's also something we have talked about. That's one of those things you have to think about and decide what's the best way to handle it. You know, if you've got somebody with a name who's, say, a top player on one server and somebody else takes the name on another server, then, you know, people get kind of confused. On the other hand, you do have to worry about names and running out of names in a namespace. And we certainly do not want people named, Donnie999. That kind of does not work well. We'll be there at Stonehenge and see you. What do you think? Will there be realm points or smiths from Draylock? Something? Will there be realm points or smiths like that? And it will be possible to access this data to build on own statistics sites. Yes. Yeah. Hi, Donnie. Yes, there will be, Draylock. Is there an effort being made to favor coordinated groups over Zergs? Absolutely. Really important. Mindless, I don't want to say mindless because that's not fair, but just, giant furballs where, you've got Zergs just kind of running around and not being coordinated. If that's the best way to win in the game, then we've made a mistake. Right? We've absolutely made a design error here. We do want people to have to, actually work together and to show coordination, and at the same time, we also want to make sure, and this gets to, obviously crowd control, that an uncoordinated Zerg or an uncoordinated group can be defeated by a much smaller coordinated one. In terms of realm points, what I was referring to above cool is is everything you get from your realm in terms of rewards. I wasn't using that in the realm points kind of Camelot, Dark Age of Camelot way. Remember, you get realm rewards for everything you do within the game. That's what I was referring to, because those are kind of important to your progression in this game. Agwak, good evening from Germany, or to Germany. Yeah, and that's, again, Ku, that's the important thing to keep in mind. When you look at realm points in Dark Age of Camelot, they had a very specific role. In our game, the idea of realm rewards and all the accomplishments that you can do in the game, or that you can achieve in the game, get you things. And that's what we'll be tracking. So it's sort of different, very different from Dark Age, or where you got your abilities, and you that was the focus. Once you capped out, was to keep getting new and new abilities. That obviously isn't the focus of this game. Hells, yes, absolutely. Heartfire, will there be marriage in CU? Sure. Obviously, that's an easy one. Marriage in games, in games like this goes back to the MUDs. So I would have no problem with having RP like that in this game. That's really an easy one. What do I see as the crafter-player ratio? Hard to tell, because I think you'll be looking at having a lot of people who will be full-time crafters, and I think that ratio will be different than the people who will also try to have useful crafters but won't make them full-time. So I would estimate the full-time crafters, and that's all that they're doing, would be less than 10% of the population. In terms of what would a guild need, don't know yet. Odovic, yeah, I would like to have that, as a matter of fact. That's one of the things that we talked about during the Kickstarter. And so having Veil Storms that have both short and long-term effects on the character is something that we certainly really want in the game. 404 Vault, thanks. And well, I'm one of the question answerers. Certainly this week we're going to have 3 other people answering some questions. Meeks, yeah, I think it's something that's important. It's something that I would look at as one of those things that will help differentiate our game, obviously, like from so many others, and one that really will make the world feel more like a world and less like a game. No, thanks again, 404. Yeah, this is the sort of stuff that we've always done. So if you go back and you look at just a Kickstarter and how involved, engaged we were with our backers and potential backers, we promised that that wouldn't change post-launch. And of course there was the usual skepticism, which I understand. Certainly as a gamer myself, a healthy dose of skepticism is not a bad thing, but we lived up to it. And it was the same with Dark Age, and even before when we were doing games early on in Mythic, and even my previous company, AUSI. It's important, I think, and I agree with you. More companies should do this, and not just send out the community manager to do these things. Devs should take the time, especially in our case, as a kick-started game. If you're using crowdfunding as a way to get your game made, I think you have an obligation to the backers to take some of your time and actually talk to them. If you do otherwise, that's not really cool. How long are the interns staying at the studio? The summer, and hopefully they'll come back if we haven't scared them off too much. So far, they're both doing great. We have a very good history at the studio so far of having people start as interns and then them sticking around. We've got a few people already who are doing that, and I would love to have both Jules and Garrett back next year. Zelly, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Dark Age of Camelot was an absolutely awesome game. As I always say, it was made by an awesome team. And you know, there's never been anything like it. So, you know, we'll see. Bug hole, you never know. There are a lot of people who didn't think DAOC was ever going to be anything. As I always say, time will tell. Wookie, will we have support techs? Yep, absolutely. Obviously, from the Dark Age days, we had a very, very good support system, and I expect to have at least as good of one here. The gentleman who worked on it, Scott Jennings, did an absolutely wonderful job with our initial system, and I hope we can, you know, do an even better one here. Bughole, I don't know why you think we have global cooldowns. We don't. There is no general global cooldown timer. That is something we've said we don't have. Hells, the plan is simple. It's really, we've looked at the classes right now and the ones that we want to implement, and you know, we'll just have to see going forward if we can introduce new classes that won't break the old classes. You know, that's really the focus. The nice thing about horizontal progression, and it's so important, is that, you know, with a game like ours, introducing classes should be, and again, should be simpler, because we're not as focused on, hey, you know, you're taking your mage and you're going from 0 to 60, and at 60 then you have the realm point system to get new abilities, and that people have spent years leveling up their characters, so you have to be so careful about introducing new classes. That's not how we're going to do things. So I do think it will be easier to add new classes. Now, will I be right? We'll have to see. I think we will be. I don't understand the subscription. Is the tier mean eat a buck? I'm not quite sure what you're asking. If you want to try to rephrase. Me Huge, can you run from cover from Veil Storms? Sure. How fast can you run? Wayland, aside from donating more money to making the game, is there anything else we can do to help with the development? Sure. When we call for tests, please help. We begging people to help us with things like gifting. We really need help, and we need bodies to come in and beat on things. So, you know, that would be so helpful if we could get more people. Laura T, no. The new stretch, the money received since the stretch goals were disabled, depending on how long we keep them disabled, won't count towards new stretch goals. Again, depending on time. If we kept them disabled for a while, sure. but we don't know how long we'll keep them disabled. In terms of the VoIP system, still to be determined. I would prefer not to build our own, and we're talking to folks about that right now. 404, what are we looking for when hiring? It's not a dumb question at all, by the way. When hiring, looking for an environmental artist. Like we always look for an artist, somebody who has an eye, somebody who we think has a ton of talent, even if it's they're not quite there yet. Yeah, bug, it really isn't a global cooldown. As mentioned above, it's a cooldown on the ability itself. Me huge, I'm sorry. Let me scroll back. I said, you said, may we need to run for cover from veil storms? Will they damage players? Can we get resistance to veil storms? Yeah, you may need to run from cover. I've said that a little earlier that they can damage players. And will there be resistances? Yes. Yeah, cool kids. Yeah, that would be great. Some senior programmers, I love, especially if they want to move to Virginia. Fantastic. Hells, is Vision still going to play a role in the game? Yes. Okay, guys. At this point, one last question, and then I am going to go back to my full-time job. Okay, I'll get these two, and then I'm going to go back to my desk. First one from Zelly. Will we have servers like Dark Age did? Not like Dark Age did, because as you know, Dark Age was done via GOA, Wanadu, French Telecom, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We will be hosting all of the servers ourselves. We have promised our backers during the Kickstarter, before the Kickstarter, and after the Kickstarter, that we were not going to license this game in Europe. We were incredibly clear about that, and even though we could make some money by doing that, we're not going to do it. So the servers that will be up in Europe will be run by CSE. And yes, there will be, I assume, European servers. The reason why I say I assume is this is something we have said also from the Kickstarter onward. We want to get off feedback from our backers. If 99% of our European backers said, no, we don't want European servers, which I cannot imagine happening, we would certainly bow to 99% of our backers. But the odds of that happening is nil. So I expect that we will certainly have the servers up somewhere in the EU. We're going to be looking, obviously, at various solutions. Right now we're using Amazon Web Services, but at the end of the day, when it comes time to launch, we're going to go with whatever is going to be both the most efficient and most cost-effective for our European players. That's what you deserve, because you folks backed us. Second question, and then I'm out of here, because I don't remember anyone asking me this question ever before, so I'm going to answer it. Will Banes and Boons have an effect on the physical appearance on characters so that you could have one eye? That would be just awesome. Unfortunately, I have to say we're not going to do something like that, but that would be awesome. What a great question. Maybe in another game, but certainly not this one. at least in terms of one eyes. In terms of other physical effects, well, that might be possible, but certainly not one eye. So that's it for now. I am going to sign off. As always, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for your support. And great job with the questions, folks. There were some really good ones in this session. Check the schedule out. We're going to be making changes to it this morning and maybe this afternoon, probably this afternoon, given that it's 11:30. And I think you'll look forward to the session with Ben, Mark, and Tim, which will happen later this week. So that's it, and I'm out of here, folks.
Put on the office cameras with the mic muted, or just leave it on?
Just leave it off now.
All right, folks. Thanks again. I'm going to turn off the stream here. And join us at 3 p.m. our time, which at this point is just 3.5 hours away, for a Painting All the Things stream with Michelle, where she'll be doing Viking hammers. All right. See you later.